Chapter 4480. 9 Bliss Cow. 3 Northern Netherfrost Jade Emperors. These two treasures are extremely precious to the Tailing Zhong clan and the Bingdi Lung clan. Therefore, after Zhong Yu and Lung Jing left with their belongings, the senior leaders of the two clans also began to surround them. There was a heated discussion on how to punish Zhong Yu and Lung Jing. This time, even if there are people behind Zhong Yu and Lung Jing, it is impossible to protect them without thinking, and the people behind them also need to take care of others. After all, public anger is hard to come by. This time, because of the actions of the two, the family suffered a huge loss, and it would be difficult to convince the public if they were not severely punished. And now Zhong Yu and Lung Jing are on their way to the place where Duan Lingtian is, and they don't know yet that the clan behind them has already decided on their punishment. Zhong Yu's side is okay. After all, he is the young patriarch of the Zhong family, and he is also a star of tomorrow that the Zhong family has entrusted with high hopes, so the punishment for him is somewhat restrained. On the other hand, Lung Jing was not so lucky. The punishment waiting for him was more than double the punishment that Zhong Yu was about to face. Your Excellency, this is the 9 Bliss Cow you want. When Zhong Yu left, he brought a dozen people with him, and when he returned to Duan Lingtian again, there were only 4 people, and only the 3 who were close to the invincible superior gods. Seeing Zhong Yu sending the things out, the 3 of them all showed pain in their faces. After all, the 9 Flower Kings of Bliss is also a treasure for their Zhong family, which may slow down the cultivation process of some outstanding descendants of their Zhong family. Okay. Duan Lingtian nodded lightly, and took the things away. After accepting Na Jie as the master, he saw that there were 9 very strange-looking flower plants suspended in the air in the space inside. There is no force entangled in them, they are completely relying on their own aura, standing in the sky, giving people a feeling of vitality. The 9 Bliss Flower Kings seemed to have life. When Duan Lingtian checked them through Naji, the originally huge flowers began to close, and finally closed completely, turning into flower buds. It's amazing. Seeing this scene, Duan Lingtian couldn't help but sigh and sigh. It was the first time in his life that he saw such a magical flower. It is indeed a rare existence in the world. Ordinary bliss flowers, the effect is average, only useful for cultivators under the gods. But the Bliss Flower King is aimed at the cultivators above the gods and under the gods. Even, the effect of Bliss Cow is far better than Shen Yunquan. According to Duan Lingtian's understanding through the pure world Shen Shui, one of the 5 elements of the small world in the body, the bliss flower is not comparable to the god Yunquan, but the god Yunquan is not comparable to the king of bliss flowers, the Bliss Flower King. Even in terms of assistance to cultivation, Cow Bliss is far superior to Shen Yunquan in any aspect. Whether it is the absorption speed, the degree of absorption, or even the effect, all-round bursts of the Shen Yunquan, the most important is Shen Yunquan has requirements for the cultivation of the user, and those who are too weak cannot bear the medicinal power of Shen Yunquan. Bliss, too. And Cow Bliss, even a mortal without any cultivation, can take it, and even after taking it, the medicinal power will be stored in his body and slowly released for him to absorb, cultivate and digest. Previously, after learning this from Jingsha Shenshui's mouth, Duan Lingtian can be said to be extremely pleasantly surprised. This also means that his relatives with lower cultivation bases can also quickly improve their cultivation bases by taking Bliss Flower King, not only becoming gods, but even becoming kings, emperors, emperors, and even gods. You must know that in the past, for many of his close relatives, this was tantamount to a dream, because of the limitation of talent, let alone a king or above, it was a difficult thing to become a god. And now, the problem is solved. Of course, even if he can go to the back, he depends on how his relatives choose. After all, once he steps into the realm of the king, he will begin to face a 1,000-year calamity. At that point, it is not impossible to retreat without advancing. If you don't enter, you will perish under the 1,000-year calamity, and you will die. If you don't enter the realm of the King of Gods, you don't need to face the 1,000-year catastrophe, you can still live forever, and live with the heaven and the earth. Of course, if it is said to be eternal life, in fact, if there is not enough strength to protect oneself, there will be more cultivators in a place rich in spiritual energy, and naturally the cultivation progress will be slow. At this time, the strong will drive out the weak. If you want to truly achieve eternal life without desire, you can only go to places that are not suitable for cultivation. That is the place where mortals gather. But what's the point of being in that place? You can only watch your new mortal friends die from generation to generation, while you live forever alone. Maybe there are people around you, but how many people are there always by your side? After the trip to the 3 sacred realms, find an opportunity to return to the God-defying realm. Then, give the things to Huana, Xiaofei, and their parents. Others, Duan Lingtian does not know. However, Huana, Xiaofei, and his father Duan Rufeng, as long as they have the opportunity, they will definitely choose to take the path of the King of Gods and pursue a higher level of cultivation. Not only to protect the people around him, but also to follow his footsteps closer. After the 9 Bliss Flower Kings arrived, Zhongyu deliberately calmed down, politely bid farewell to Duan Lingtian, and then turned around and left. On the other hand, Duan Lingtian continued to wait for the arrival of the Bingdi Lung clan, Leng Jing. The Bliss Flower King has arrived, but the Jade Emperor of Beiminghan has not arrived yet. Half a month later, Duan Lingtian finally waited for Leng Jing's arrival. Next to Leng Jing, there were 2 new faces, 2 old people who looked old. Although they were polite when they arrived, they still asked Duan Lingtian to learn from each other. As long as you beat them, not only 3 North Netherfrost Fish Kings will be given away, but also 100 North Netherfrost Fish. Even the ordinary Beiming Hanyu is more precious than the ordinary Bliss Flower, and it is not inferior to the Shenyun Quan. Moreover, the Beiminghan fish is different from the Bliss Flower. The Bliss Flower is a treasure that helps people improve their cultivation, while the Beiminghan fish is more inclined to help people wash the tendons and cut the marrow, reborn, and can explore a person's potential and talent. For people with extraordinary talent, no amount of Beiminghan Fish Emperor will be of any help, but for people whose talent has not reached the extreme limit, Beiminghan Jade Emperor is of great use. Ordinary Beiming Hanyu also has a great effect on people with mediocre or even low talent. Hundreds of North Netherfrost fish. Duan Lingtian knew in his heart that the 2 old men from the Bingdi Lung clan obviously wanted to test their own strength to verify whether Leng Jing was working with him to win the Beiminghan Fish Emperor of the Lung clan. And for him, if he wants to successfully get the 3 Northern Netherfrost Fish Kings, this battle is inevitable. He is very clear about this. Therefore, he did not refuse. The result of the discussion came out very quickly. Within 30 moves, Duan Lingtian completely suppressed the 2 elders of the Lung clan and convinced them. The strength of the 2, although they are close to the invincible upper gods like Leng Jing, they are obviously much stronger than Leng Jing, and their rich combat experience is far from Leng Jing's. That's all. Duan Lingtian, in addition to getting 3 Beiminghan Fish Emperors from the Bingdi Lung clan, also got 100 Beiminghan fish, which can be said to be a great harvest. After that, the 2 elders of the Lung clan, in their polite words, also speculated that they wanted to inquire about Duan Lingtian's origin. However, Duan Lingtian ignored them. Because he knows that at this time, if he talks too much, he will lose, and if he stays arrogant, he can make the other party more vicious. Otherwise, if the other party knows that there is no semi-sacred existence behind him, why not directly summon the strongest of the Lung clan to come and destroy him? It really irritated the Lung clan, even if the Yangtian army commander Hu Bugui, or even the Chengtian sword Situ Lei came in person, I am afraid that he may not be able to save his life. As a powerful clan in the Pingxiong realm, the Lung clan is not only powerful in itself, but also has an amazing network of connections. This is what Duan Lingtian heard from Hu Feiyan. If a half-sage leaves, what Hu does not return, what Situ Lei, even if the deity comes, it is useless. At that time, only the existence of the same semisage or above can save him. It's just, where did he go to find existences above the semisage to protect him? If he has achieved an invincible upper god, there may be a semisage, or even a saint, willing to take the initiative to protect him. But the problem is, he hasn't come that far yet. End of this chapter. Chapter 4481. The elders of the Bingdi Lung clan did not find out any useful information, and could only watch Duan Lingtian, Hu Feiyan and Tan Shouting struttingly board the artifact spaceship and leave. Lung Jing, who was standing in place after the artifact spaceship disappeared behind his eyes, could feel the icy gaze falling on him. He felt a chill. He knew that the matter of sending the Beiminghan Fish Emperor this time would not be so easy to end. As the party who dragged down the Lung clan to hand over such a treasure, he will definitely be severely punished. This time it's a complete setback. I just hope that the punishment for me within the clan will not be too harsh. Lung Jing felt bitter in his heart, but now he, besides regretted following Zhongyu to join in the fun, and even helping Zhongyu to get ahead. That Zhongyu, that's too boring. What if he bears everything? He is the young patriarch of the Zhong family and the future leader of the Zhong family. Even if the Zhong family wants to punish him, how much can they punish? The current Lung Jing hated Zhongyu in his heart. From now on, he and I are no longer friend. The current Zhongyu did not know what Lung Jing was thinking. On the way back to the Zhong family in Tailing, he sent a message back to the clan and told his father, the contemporary patriarch of the Zhong family, about his plans. Father, I'm not reconciled with this matter. I think, you, and even the family, must not be reconciled. Although I guess that there are more than half sages behind that person, but that's just speculation after all. It would be great if we could take this opportunity to confirm. If I can't, I'm always a little bit angry. This time, Zhongyu didn't make his own decisions as he wanted to avenge his junior brother earlier. This time, in order to deal with the young man beside Hu Feiyan, he asked his father to go into action. His father represented the Tailing Zhong family. It's easy to get in touch with some of the strongest. Even if you want to leak secrets without knowing it, it is not difficult for the strongest to stare at each other. I will arrange this matter, you don't need to follow up. And Zhongyu's father, the contemporary patriarch of the Zhong family in Tailing, also responded quickly. Zhong Hanyin is the contemporary patriarch of the Zhong clan in Tailing. He is a tall and burly middle-aged man who looks rough, but his big eyes are shining with wisdom. As the patriarch of the Zhong family in Tailing, Zhong Hanyin himself is also a supreme power. Of course, they are just ordinary superpowers, not to mention semi-sages, and even Hu Bugu'e, the commander of the Yangtian army, can't compare to them. However, this did not affect his status in the Zhong family. Because, the strongest contemporary member of the Zhong family is the ancestor of his lineage, and also his great-grandfather. That is an existence with a strength close to a half-holy. Looking at the vast territory of Pingxiong, there are very few people who can compete with his great-grandfather. 9 Bliss Cow, such a big appetite. At this moment, Zhong Hanyin's face is also extremely gloomy, a pair of wise gongs and big eyes flashing with a cold luster. The whole person seems to be transformed into a fierce beast at this moment, choosing people to devour. No matter who you are, whether or not there is a demigod behind you. Our Zhong family's things are not so easy to swallow. While muttering, Zhong Hanyin's body suddenly vibrated and began to blur. Then, it disappeared silently in place, as if it had disappeared out of thin air. At the same time, in a room in a spacious courtyard of the Zhong family, Zhong Hanyin's figure appeared, crossed his legs, and then a human-shaped light and shadow rose from him and then escaped into the void. 9 Bliss Flower Kings, 3 Beiminghan Fish Kings. If you want to come, many people are interested. The void space is a magical space that only the strongest can enter. When the superpower enters here with consciousness, it will manifest a new identity, which has nothing to do with the original identity. And this, there is no need for the strongest to do it intentionally. No one can tell how long the void space has existed, because all the superpowers will have a certain sense of the void space after breaking through to become the powerhouse, as if something is calling them. And when they consciously sneak in, they will find that they appear in an independent space, and they will have a new identity in that space. Whether it's appearance or breath, it's all changed. Here, even if you say who you are by name, no one will believe it, because no one can confirm that some of the people here are the people you know. Unless, the other party can tell some secret things that only they know each other, so that they can recognize each other inside. However, in the void space, there are too many superpowers. Many superpowers like to retire here when they have nothing to do, and some superpowers who are chasing more power are here to talk to others. There are those who talk about the power of laws, there are also those who talk about the four realms of heaven and earth, there are also those who talk about the potential of the tree of life and so on. There are also some superpowers who occasionally appear here, not for anything else, just to inquire about some news about the land of return to the ruins. The land of return to the ruins is similar to the existence of the secret realm, but unlike the secret realm that is artificially generated, the land of return to the ruins is said to be formed automatically by the power of the rules of this world. Inside, there is even a chance for the strongest. Some opportunities, not only ordinary superpowers, but also semi-sages, and even the existence of saints or above, can also be of great help to them, and even go further. In those places, there are many superpowers who cannot enter in person, and only those below the superpowers can enter. At this time, a small number of supreme powers who have the invincible upper gods under their hands also occupied a great advantage. Under the strongest, the invincible superior is the strongest, which is recognized. In the face of the invincible upper gods, all the existences that are not strong enough to be invincible are basically like paper, fragile and vulnerable to a single blow. Such as Du and Lingtian. Now, with his strength, there are few rivals under the invincible superior god Venerable. However, in the face of the real invincible superior god Venerable, he is afraid that he will not be able to withstand even 3 moves. The invincible superior god Venerable is a kind of qualitative change, not only the qualitative change of his own strength, even if it is beyond the world, and even the rules of heaven and earth above the 10,000 worlds, it will give him great power, so that he can get a qualitative change in all aspects. You know, this has always been a treatment only after the achievement of the strongest. The baptism of the rules of heaven and earth, giving great power, Wei Li, short for great power. It stands to reason that the land of return to the ruins is extremely important, and the most powerful people, even if they know about it, will treasure it for themselves, and it is impossible to share news about the land of return to the ruins with others. However, if some places of return to the ruins are targeted by some powerful people, those weak and strong people who know the news, seeing that they can't get a share of the pie, will often enter the void space and spread the news. Its purpose is only to prevent those powerful supreme beings from swallowing up the land of ruins. Only in this way can they be a little happier. Although harming others is not good for themselves, for them, comfort is the most important thing. I can't get it, and you don't want to get it so easily. And now, Zhong Hanyan, the patriarch of the Zhong clan in Tailing, came to Taishu space to spread the news that the superior who has strength is only close to the invincible superior god, and he is carrying 9 blissful flower kings and 3 Baiminghan. The fish emperor, in a certain direction, is going somewhere news. Of course, this kind of news, the powerful Xeon, will not pay attention. First of all, they didn't pay much attention to the 9 bliss flower kings and the 3 northern netherfrost fish kings. Second, they also felt that it would be a loss of identity to take action against such a weak existence. However, this is not attractive to the powerful Xeons, but it does not mean that it is not attractive to those who are at the bottom of the Xeons. End of this chapter. Chapter 4482. Deputy Commander Hu, then we will leave here and there will be a future. When there was still some distance from the border between the Wind Holy Land and the Thunder Holy Land, Du and Lingtian sent Hu Feiyan out of the artifact spaceship, looked at Hu Feiyan, and said with a smile, "Li Feng, you must keep a low profile and bide your time along the way." The 2 big clans seem to be bowing their heads, but they are not sure what small moves will be made later. It is a very simple thing to borrow a knife to kill, especially if you are carrying treasure. Hu Feiyan said solemnly, "Although, you may have some trump cards in your hand, and you are not afraid of ordinary powerhouses. But, those methods are also one less. If you run out, unless there is a strong deity behind you to come to protect you, otherwise, I'm afraid it will be more fortunate." Speaking of later, Hu Feiyan's face became more and more early. "Many thanks to Deputy Commander Hu for reminding me, I will be careful." Du and Lingtian nodded, although there was still a faint smile on his face, but his gaze was a little more solemn. "Farewell." Hu Feiyan nodded at Du and Lingtian, then took out an artifact spaceship, and drove the spaceship to fly away. In the blink of an eye, It turned into a small black spot, and then completely disappeared in front of Duan Lingshan's eyes. She said what she had to say. She did what she had to do. What happens next depends on Li Feng's own creation. Of course, on her side, it also depends on her own good fortune. This time, it was Hu Feiyan who took the initiative to part ways with Duan Lingtian. According to Hu Feiyan, the reason why she decided to go with Duan Lingtian before was because she felt that Duan Lingshan's strength was comparable to his, and the two of them could help each other and promote each other. Even if there is any danger, the two go hand in hand. But now, Duan Lingshan's space law has further broken through, and he has the strength to surpass her in all directions in one fell swoop. If he walks with her in the future, it will not only be difficult for her to promote, but it may also make her feel slack, which is not conducive to cultivation and self-improvement. In fact, this was the most fundamental reason why Hu Feiyan planned to separate from Duan Lingtian. Seeing Hu Feiyan leaving, Duan Lingtian didn't go back to the artifact spaceship for the first time, but dodged and disappeared. Reappearing, it is already in the distance. Duan Lingshan's figure constantly shuttled back and forth around. Soon, his figure stopped, and as he stretched out his hand, a figure was also pulled out by his power. He was a sloppy middle-aged man. This sloppy middle-aged man, Duan Lingtian, is not oblivious. It is the person who brought Zhong Yu and others to find them before, and it is the remnant of a bandit organization that Tan Shoting killed earlier. And Zhong Yu, because the leader of this person's organization is his junior brother, that's why this time he will come forward. Sir, spare your life. Your lord, spare your life. After being caught out by Duan Lingtian, the sloppy middle-aged complexion changed dramatically, and the thing he was most unwilling to face in his heart finally happened. In fact, when Zhong Yu made a comeback, when he found the person in front of him through him, he knew that if the person in front of him was safe, he would definitely think of being followed. If you continue to follow the other party, you will take great risks. After all, the other party is not an idiot. What a joke. An idiot can cultivate to such a level. However, although he was reluctant to follow, and even when Zhong Yu gave instructions, he specifically stated his intentions, but Zhong Yu threatened him with both toughness and softness. In the end, he even put a taboo poison on him that required regular antidote, and let him no choice but to follow Zhong Yu's words again. Zhong Yu made you stare at us? Duan Lingtian glanced at the middle-aged man indifferently, and asked in a calm tone. Previously, 9 times out of 10, the person in front of him followed and provided Zhong Yu with their whereabouts in time. Only then could Zhong Yu lead the person to catch up with precision. As for the middle-aged, after hearing Duan Lingshan's words, he smiled wryly and shook his head. Before, it was Zhong Yu who asked me to follow you. However, after they retreated, Zhong Yu didn't contact me anymore. Instead it was the Bingdi Lung clan. Lung Jing contacted me and asked me to help follow you. Even he drugged me, so I had to do it. Sir, please spare my life. It's not what I want. The middle-aged begged. However, Duan Lingtian ignored the middle-aged man. He lifted his hand, and his palm suddenly formed a fist. In an instant, a powerful force of space converged and directly killed the middle-aged man. After killing the middle-aged man and confirming that no one else was watching, Duan Lingtian just returned to the artifact spaceship, and at the same time greeted Tan Shoting, on the next journey, change your appearance and become an old man. As soon as the voice fell, Duan Lingshan's body also turned with divine power, and the aura of space law permeated. His appearance, at this moment, has undergone earth-shaking changes. The originally softer face has now become a lot more arrogant and arrogant. The purple robe on his body has also changed into a slightly loose black robe at this moment. A pair of thick eyebrows and big eyes, combined with a pair of stern eyes, look sharp. Pressing. On Tan Ziyuteng's side, he also turned into an old man in a light grey robe, then bowed to Duan Lingtian, and said respectfully in a hoarse and old voice, "Master, we will go to the Wind Holy Land next, or Lei Holy Land." Ahead is the border between the Wind Holy Land and the Thunder Holy Land, and Hu Feiyan, who had left earlier, was heading for the Wind Holy Land. Duan Lingtian rolled his eyes and said, "Go to Thunder Holy Land. If you go to the Holy Land of Wind, you will still follow Hu Feiyan's footsteps, but if you go to the Holy Land of Thunder, the two will get farther and farther away." In the current situation, the latter is obviously better. After all, the distance from Hu Feiyan is too close, and the target will be bigger. The artifact spaceship is replaced with one. Duan Lingtian greeted Tan Shouting and asked Tan Shouting to replace the artifact spaceship with another one. After all, the previous artifact spaceship had two obvious goals. Pingxiong Realm. Close to the border between the Holy Land of Wind and the Holy Land of Thunder, it looks like a deserted mountain, but every once in a while, a few figures can still be seen flying through the air, flying straight into the depths of the mountains. But their destination was a building complex deep in the mountains. Here, it is also the location of a supreme power. Of course, whether it is compared with the Tailing Zhong clan or the Bingdi Lung clan, this power is far inferior. Because, in this force, there is only one supreme power. Moreover, it is still an existence that has only entered the Xion for a few thousand years, and its strength is also at the bottom of the Xion. This force, called the Mountain Pavilion, is a very low-key hidden world force. But today, in the depths of this mountain pavilion, far away from the building complex, inside a cave dwelling, there is a middle-aged man in a fiery red robe, who suddenly opened his eyes. 3 North Netherfrost Fish Kings, 9 Bliss Flower Kings? And, near me? While the middle-aged red-robed man muttered to himself, the vicissitudes of his eyes, at this moment, could not help but show a bit of greed. If I can get these things. I'm a disciple of the mountain pavilion, maybe I'll be able to produce a few more good seedlings with the most powerful resources. However, since the other party has these treasures in their hands, I want to come. They are not ordinary people. It's still a long-term plan. Well, I'll go to the Lin family first and tell Brother Lin Yu about it. End of this chapter. Chapter 4483. In the Pingxiong realm, the clan standing at the top is the first-class existence of the Tianmen Murong family, and the number is very small. Looking at the entire Pingxiong realm, there are very few. Below, there are existences such as the Tailing Zhong clan and the Bingdi Lung clan. There are more than a dozen existences at this level in the Pingxiong realm. There are even more Xion clans below, no less than dozens or hundreds. And the Lin clan is one of them. The Lin family's clan residence is adjacent to the border between the Wind Holy Land and the Thunder Holy Land. The distance from the mountain pavilion is not close, but it is definitely not far. As the only strong middle-aged red-robed middle-aged man in the mountain pavilion, Feng Shu Yufeng went alone, and the whole person seemed to have turned into a flame, and it was like a fiery red meteor in the daytime piercing the sky, but it only took a quarter of an hour. It was already outside the clan station of the Lin clan. Although as a superpower, looking at the entire Lin family, only one superpower in the Lin family can compare, but he is still very polite to say hello outside the Lin family. The supreme powerhouse of the Lin family is not much stronger than him, but he and the other party have known each other for a long time. The two have known each other when they were not supreme powerhouses. They saved each other's life and forged a deep friendship during those years. Even if they have become superpowers now and rarely get together, it still does not affect the Xingyi between them. Brother Lin Yu. The middle-aged Hongpao heard a message and entered the Lin family's residence. In the Lin family's residence, a figure Feng Shu rushed out of the wind and greeted him directly. Yifan, you and I haven't seen you for many years. I was thinking about going to the mountains recently. I met you in the pavilion, but I didn't expect you to come first. The person who came was a middle-aged man in a cyan robe with an elegant temperament. He was the ancestor of the Lin family, the pillar of the Lin family, Lin Yu. This time, since you are here, I must have a few drinks with you. Lin Yu smiled and said to the middle-aged man in red robe in front of him, that is, Liu Yifan, the supreme pavilion master of the Shanjian pavilion. And Liu Yifan, when he heard Lin Yu's words, shook his head and smiled. Brother Lin Yu, don't worry about drinking. I came to find you this time because I have an important matter. As soon as the words fell, while Lin Yu's smile subsided and his face was serious, Liu Yifan also told Lin Yu the news he had obtained in that void space. In his opinion, those things, if you want to eat them alone, you need to take too many risks. If we can join forces with Lin Yu, we can reduce many risks. Moreover, if he succeeds, it will also be a big favor for him to sell Lin Yu. 9 Bliss Flower Kings, 3 northern netherfrost fish kings? Hearing Liu Yifan's words, Lin Yu's eyes flickered. As far as I know, there are not many cow bliss in Pingxiong. There are only a few forces that breed cow bliss, and they are all stronger than our 2. Power. As for the Beiminghan fish emperor, it is even rarer. In the territory of Pingxiong, only the 2 major clans, including the Bingdi Lung clan, exist. Speaking of this, Lin Yu looked at Liu Yifan and said with a look of fear, Yifan, the person who carries these treasures is definitely not an ordinary person. First of all, being able to get those things is enough to show that he is unusual. Liu Yifan agreed with Lin Yu's analysis. I think so too. However, the person who spread the news obviously didn't want that person to feel better. According to his original words, behind the other party, there seems to be a near half-sacred existence, and it is uncertain whether the other party has such a spirit in his hand. Accumulate essence and blood, but there is a high probability of not having it. Speaking of this, Liu Yifan paused for a moment, and then said with his eyes shining, Brother Lin Yu, wealth and wealth are in danger. As long as you and I join forces, even if the other party is a deity who is close to a semisage, we will have great confidence to escape. Birthday. At that time, Liu Yifan and Lin Yu traveled together. They used the rules that each other was good at, and cooperated with each other to develop a set of secret escape skills. You must know that at that time, one of them was the upper ***** emperor, and the other was only the middle **** emperor. The other party is the median god. Since you and I stepped into Xeon, we haven't teamed up to perform the spacetime escape. The spacetime escape method is the secret escape technique that the 2 of them jointly developed back then. The 2 matched the laws of time and space they were good at, and vibrated the frequency to generate a special resonance of the laws, thus opening the way to escape. Speaking of which, being able to master this secret skill back then was more due to luck. Because, let alone 2 different laws, even if it is the same law, it is almost impossible to synchronize the frequency vibration. And they, just by chance, mastered the perfect frequency of joining forces. Although I don't know how strong you and I are now with the time-space escape method. But, I think, let alone the existence of the semisacred, even in front of the semisage, you and I may not be able to retreat. The most important thing is the time and space escape method. We have used it a few times in total, and they are all used when the cultivation base is low. No one knows that it is our method. So, we don't have to worry about being targeted afterward. Liu Yifan said. Obviously, he had already thought about many things. Lin Yu heard this. Even though he was still cautious in the depths of his eyes, there was obviously some movement between his face changes. Your plan is not bad. However, if you really want to make a move, before you set off, you and I had better familiarize yourself with it first to see if you can still grasp the frequency of the time-space escape method. Time and space escape is a secret escape technique created by the 2 of them together. The name is also taken by the 2 of them. Thinking of joining hands to perform it again, even Lin Yu's eyes have a little more anticipation. That's natural. Liu Yifan said with a smile, if you really want to drop the chain at a critical moment, and the other party has the spirit essence blood close to the semisacred existence to summon the other party's deity, you and I will both worry about our life. At this moment, Duan Lingtian does not know. As the news spread in the void space, more and more supreme powers were staring at him. To be precise, he was eyeing the Bliss Flower King and Beiminghan Fish King in his hand. There was a gust of wind in the nearby area. Pingxiong Realm? It's near our Thunder Holy Land. Moreover, it's still coming to the border between our Wind Holy Land and Thunder Holy Land. The treasures that come to your door, don't be free. There seems to be a near half-sacred existence behind me. So what? There are even semisage powerhouses behind me. Humph. 9 Bliss Flower Kings, 3 Beiminghan Fish Kings. I want them all. Wealth and wealth are in danger. Since the person who carries the treasure is nearby, if I don't take it, I'm afraid I won't be able to deal with God's arrangement. End of this chapter. Chapter 4484. An artifact spaceship is getting closer and closer to the Thunder Holy Land. In fact, at this time, there are not dozens of spaceships close to the Thunder Holy Land, but there are 10 or 8. Put away the spaceship, and let's travel across mountains and rivers. Inside the artifact spaceship, Duan Lingtian, who changed his appearance and wore a loose black robe, suddenly opened his eyes and said to Tan Xiuting, who was controlling the artifact spaceship. At this time, Tan Xiuting looked like an old man, wearing a grey robe. When he opened his mouth to answer, his voice also seemed extremely old. Are you being too careful, young master? Although Tan Xiuting thought so in his heart, he didn't say it. In his opinion, the reason why Zhongyu, the young patriarch of the Zhong clan in Tailing, bowed his head, not only because he was not as strong as his young master, but also because he was afraid of the background behind his young master. Even him, he also felt that behind his young master, there are more than half saints in 9 out of 10. Even the Tailing Zhong clan and the Bingdi Lung clan bowed their heads. Looking at the territory of Pingxiong, those who dared to provoke their young masters were probably the few top-notch elites with semisage powers, including the Tianmen Murong family. Strong power. However, even those few forces will not risk offending a semi-sacred powerhouse for no reason or because of some small profits. Duan Lingtian didn't know the doubt in Tan Ziyuteng's heart. If he knew, he would definitely smile bitterly in his heart. If there is a semi-sacred powerhouse behind him, he is naturally full of confidence. But the problem is no. Now, the most powerful means of life-saving in his hands is the Lingyun essence blood given by the heavenly Cheng sword Sichu Lei, which can summon Sichu Lei himself. However, even if Sichu Lei was really called, so what? Sichu Lei's strength, placed in the Sand Realm that day, was considered a top-notch powerhouse. It can be placed in the Pingxiong realm, but it can only rank in the 3rd echelon at most. Not to mention the top forces in the Pingxiong realm like the Murong family of Tianmen, it is the Tailing Zhong clan and the Bingdi Lung clan that are no weaker than Sichu Lei, and definitely no less than 3 or 5 people. Stronger than Sichu Lei, there are also. If the Tailing Zhong clan and the Bingdi Lung clan react and send strong people to test, I will definitely reveal my secret. Even if they don't come to test, I have taken so many good things from them, and they will definitely not give up. Duan Lingtian has come all the way to this day, relying not only on the luck and chance against the sky, but also on a cautious attitude. This mentality has kept him away from the crisis several times. Whoosh, whoosh. Duan Lingtian took Tan Xiuting, and after putting away the spaceship, Yakong fell into a deep mountain and jungle, and quickly shuttled through it. Along the way, there were also some big monsters who didn't have long eyes, and they were all caught by Tan Xiuting one by one. Kill. Unhindered all the way. A few days after Duan Lingtian and Tan Xiuting were on their way, 2 figures suddenly appeared near the place where they had put away the artifact spaceship. There are 2 breaths that disappeared here. It should have disappeared for 3 or 2 days. Wearing a red robe, the Mountain Pavilion Supreme Powerhouse, Liu Yifan, said to the middle-aged Qingpao beside him, Brother Lin Yu, are you sure you can go back to this place and see what happened 3 or 2 days ago? The middle-aged Qingpao is the most powerful person in the Lin family, Lin Yu. The 2 of them, for the sake of the 3 North Netherfrost Fish Kings and the 9 Bliss Flower Kings, came out of the Lin family and followed them all the way to this point. During this period, Lin Yu also found some clues by virtue of his ability to backtrack the law of time. Of course, not all the strongest who are good at the law of time are as good at retracing time as Lin Yu. The reason why Lin Yu is good at it is because of an adventure in the past. Back then, before he broke through to become a superpower, he was fortunate enough to step into a place of return to the ruins, where he met the opportunity left by a saint powerhouse, and thus realized the secret method of retracing time. You must know that generally a superpower like him who has not yet comprehended the law of time to the realm of great perfection, has no way to go back in time to people who are not of his own blood. Only the strong have this method. The reason why you can stick to me in advance is because of the chance in the past. Let me try. Although Lin Yu can perform the time retracing secret method when the time law has only reached the realm of small perfection, but compared with those who are strong in the great perfection, his time retracing secret method is greatly lacking. Although it can't be regarded as timely and sometimes not, it is extremely difficult to obtain a complete picture as long as the retrospective time is more than 1 day. In many cases, only some incomplete picture fragments can be captured. If there are too many fragments of the picture, it would be better if you piece it together. you can still see clearly. But if the painting is full of fragments, and the pieces are incomplete, and it is not clear at all, it is useless. Whoa! Lin Yu stood in mid-air, his eyes suddenly condensed, his hands were spread out in front of him, and then the rolling divine power rose up like a giant wave, sweeping the world in a blink of an eye. In this terrifying divine power, mysterious auras swept out, and then a huge portrait appeared. After a closer look, the portrait actually moved. It is a floating shadow mirror. The mirror image of the floating shadow was turbulent. First, two figures appeared, it was Lin Yu and Liu Yiming, and then, the two figures retreated and soon disappeared from the picture. In the picture, the scenery is still the same, it is still the sky above this mountain, and the wind and waves are calm. Occasionally, a few birds roared past, but no one was seen. In about a quarter of an hour, the mirror image of fast forward began to turbulently distorted, and at the same time, Lin Yu's face, which was calm at the beginning, became a little ugly. Go back in time to a day ago. Seeing this scene, Liu Yifan on the side was staring at the mirror image in front of him, watching the time inside and going backwards, not letting go of any details. And the original complete mirror image, as time went back, began to become more violently turbulent and distorted. After another period of time, fragmented cracks appeared on the mirror image, and the cracks continued to spread, and the speed was getting faster and faster. It was 2 days ago. Lin Yu spoke now, and his voice became hoarse and labored, as if he was under great pressure. Broken. At the same time, under the eyes of Liu Yifan, when the time in the mirror image went back to 2 days ago, the fragmented image began to crack, and many fragments turned into powder. Just hold on. Liu Yifan suddenly spoke in a deep voice, just because he saw that there were 2 more figures in the originally empty mirror image. A black-robed youth. An old man in a grey robe. It's them. And that Lin Yu's voice also became high at this time, and at the same time, as soon as he closed his hand, the scene of the retrospective time disappeared instantly, as if it had never existed. The 2 of them fell down here and walked. They should want to walk to the direction of Thunder Holy Land. Next, from here, we can search in a carpet-like manner in the direction of Thunder Holy Land. They should be found soon. Liu Yifan's face was a little excited, so many people were looking for it, but they were still the first to land. Don't be too happy. I don't know yet whether the other party has any powerful concealment methods in his hands, and he might be able to escape our tracking. If the semi-sacred powerhouse behind him values him very much, he probably has that means. Lin Yu said in a deep voice. Let's go. Follow it. While Liu Yifan nodded, he couldn't wait to entertain Lin Yu and set off. The 2 of them followed Duan Lingshan's direction all the way. The distance is getting closer. After only about half a day, Liu Yifan and Lin Yu locked on 2 figures. It's them. It's the 2 people who appeared in the floating image just now. Brother Lin Yu, your worries are unnecessary. They don't have the semi-sacred means you said. Liu Yifan laughed. End of this chapter. Chapter 4485. Duan Lingtian took Tan Shouteng. Although he was wearing a disguise, he still did not dare to be careless. Master, are we entering the Thunder Holy Land like this? Tan Shouteng asked. Although it was not stressful for him to travel like this, it was a world of difference compared to enjoying in the artifact spaceship, and even he felt that his young master was a little unfounded. Since the 2 major clans guessed that there was an unprovocable existence behind their young master, they would definitely not come looking for trouble. Okay. Suddenly, Duan Lingtian felt an inexplicable heart palpitation. This feeling comes from the tree of life in the small world within the body, but the tree of life is currently sleeping and cultivating, so that he didn't say anything to him. As for the pure world divine water, he did not speak. It should be psychological pressure that made me feel this way. Duan Lingtian comforted himself in his heart. After all, this time, when he scoured the wool of the Tailing Zhong clan and the Bingdi Lung clan, he was fake the tiger's might, making the other party mistakenly believe that there was a semi-sacred existence behind him. In fact, behind him, how can there be any semi-sacred powerhouse? Duan Lingtian continued to move forward with Tan Shouteng, and the speed also accelerated a lot. However, just after crossing a precipitous mountain peak, The two extra figures in the void ahead made Duan Lingshan's complexion change drastically. He knew that his previous feeling was right. The vigilance derived from the tree of life has not gone wrong. The strongest. It's the strongest. Although the two figures in front of them are standing in the void in front of them, their whole body is covered with black robes, they can't see their true face, can't see their figure clearly, they are similar to the clothes on his body, obviously they are covering up identity. However, the pressure vaguely transmitted from the two of them still made him feel suffocated. The strongest. Here are the two supreme beings. Although the pressure on him is not as good as King Han, Situ Lei and others, but it is not far behind. They cover up their identities, and they are probably afraid of the semi-sacred powerhouses that may exist behind me. Duan Lingtian thought to himself. Of course, there is one thing that he can't understand, since he is afraid of the semi-sacred powerhouse behind me, why do you dare to stop me so unscrupulously? Since the other party dares to do so, there must be some recourse. After thinking about it, Duan Lingtian also guessed this in his heart. Tan Xiuteng, who was behind Duan Lingtian, also found two figures blocking the road when Duan Lingtian came back to his senses. After he came back to his senses, his face changed greatly. Of course, I have to say that Tan Xiuteng's current dress is very realistic, and he can't see the slightest camouflage. Sound transmission greeted Tan Xiuteng. Duan Lingtian just glanced at the two figures in the air in front of him with a little dread, then took Tan Xiuteng and walked forward on his own. However, just after they traveled not far, they found that an invisible giant attacked and pushed them back to their original places. For a while, Duan Lingtian also looked up at the two people in the air, and slightly cupped his hands. Two seniors, stopped our master and servant like this, but what should we do for you? Duan Lingshan's tone was polite, with a somewhat natural arrogance that seemed to come from his bones. He knows that in front of the strongest, it is too humble, and it is not necessarily a good thing. Maybe when someone else rises up, he will be trampled to death as an ant. Sometimes, it is necessary to be appropriately strong, and there is a high probability that the opponent will be able to throw the rat. Of course, Duan Lingtian knew in his heart that these two people had a high probability of coming for himself. To be precise, he came for the Jade Emperor of the North Netherfrost and the Flower King of Bliss in his hands. I don't know if it's the Zhong family or the Lung family. The action is so fast. In just a few days, the supreme powerhouse has come over. Of course, Duan Lingtian also knew in his heart that even if the other party appeared here and even stared at him, he might not be able to confirm his identity. You are calm enough. The one on the left of the two men in black robes said in a calm tone, with a bit of intimidation, in front of me, you don't have to pretend. Abandon the artifact spaceship and walk here on foot, this is not what normal people do. Hand over your things, and I can let you live. The black-robed man seemed to confirm that Duan Lingtian was the one he was looking for. Senior, I don't understand what you mean. Duan Lingtian frowned. The reason why we, the master and the servant, didn't walk in an artifact spaceship was entirely because I wanted to walk down to Earth, deeply sense the Earth, and understand the laws of the Earth system. The voice fell, and Duan Lingshan's body radiated grey light, which was the law of the Earth. Laugh. As Duan Lingtian showed the laws of the Earth element, another black-robed man sneered, you are also a high-ranking asterisk after all, so the laws you master are only in this realm? You think we are so fooled? As the black-robed man fell, Duan Lingtian looked indifferent. The law of the Earth is naturally not a law that I am good at. What I am good at is the law of life. The voice fell, Duan Lingshan's body suddenly changed, and the majestic vitality spread out, covering a large area around. Suddenly there were a lot of dead trees and grass, all of which were still turbulent, and many plants broke out of the ground. Showing a vibrant scene is especially conspicuous in this barren mountain. Although Duan Lingshan's law of life is not as good as the law of space, it is not far from the law of time. No matter what, he also has a complete tree of life in his body. According to the divine tree of life, in the past, the person who gave birth to it once mastered the plane of the gods in the anti-god realm. You know, in the anti-god realm, those who can control the plane of the gods are placed in the anti-god realm. Among the most powerful people in the god realm, he is also the leader in the forefront. How can such a divine tree of life in the body be ordinary? In addition, according to Duan Lingshan's body, the Tree of Life, it was not born from the supreme power, but from another supreme power. But its upper-level master. His last master also got it by chance, and achieved the Xion realm with it. What? And as Duan Lingtian revealed the law of life, the bodies of the two men in black robes were obviously shaking slightly, and one of them was even more shocked. Is it wrong? This is also the inner thoughts of Lin Yu and Liu Yifan at this moment. According to the information they know, their target this time is a high-ranking ***** who is good at the laws of space, close to the existence of an invincible high-ranking god, and his strength is said to be no weaker than that of the Tianmen Linghu family, who is known as the invincible high-ranking ***** in the Pingxiong realm. Linghu Yundi, the first person under the honor. Humph. Liu Yifan snorted coldly, "You're not the person we're looking for, but you're wasting our time. I'll take you on the road myself, and it's not a waste of your life in this world." When the voice fell, Liu Yifan shot. In an instant, the surrounding air suddenly stagnated, and then the surrounding space trembled and collapsed, and a terrifying force attacked Duan Lingtian and Tan Shouting overwhelmingly. In an instant, the ground beneath the two of them was shattered and turned into ashes, forcing the two of them to rise into the air. Master Tan Ziyuteng's pupils shrank. The imminent approach of death made him exclaim subconsciously, his eyes filled with panic and despair. On the other hand, Duan Lingshan's expression changed drastically at this time. He never expected that even if he concealed his identity, the other party would still kill him. However, after thinking about it, he also guessed what the other party was thinking. Rather kill the wrong, don't let it go. Among them, there is a high probability that there are still some temptations. Of course, even if it is a test, even if the other party is not quick to shoot now, he can feel that the other party really wants to kill him if he intends to give him time to react. Not to scare him. I didn't expect so soon. I will use the Lingyun blood essence given by the senior Situ. Duan Lingtian smiled bitterly in his heart. At the same time, a drop of blood emitting a terrifying aura appeared in his hand, which was then evaporated by his divine power. In an instant, the wind and thunder were turbulent, and a terrifying and powerful aura appeared. Boom! With the appearance of this terrifying aura, the power from Liu Yifan's oppression was also defeated in an instant. The long-lost figure appeared in front of Duan Lingtian again. It was the Chengtian sword Situ Lei that had not been seen for a long time after leaving the Tianshu realm in the past. The current Situ Lei gave Duan Lingtian the feeling that he had obviously changed a lot compared to when he was separated in the past. Although his appearance had not changed, his whole body gave off an aggressive feeling. Duan Lingtian knew that this was Situ Lei's swordsmanship improved again. End of this chapter. Chapter 4486. Situ Lei, as immortal in the past, stood there, with the sword energy all over his body, like a ***** in a sword. As soon as he appeared, the pressure from Liu Yifan was completely shattered. Xion deity. Regardless of whether it was Liu Yifan or Lin Yu, when Duan Lingtian took out the blood essence of Lingyun, his face changed, and he subconsciously thought that the other party called out a semi-sacred powerhouse. Especially after Situ Lei appeared, the display of the fierce swordsmanship made their hearts tremble even more. Really semi-sacred powerhouse? Li. Little friend, I didn't expect you and I to meet again. It's actually like this. After Chengtianjian Situ Lei appeared, he was just about to greet Duan Lingtian and called out Duan Lingshan's name Li Feng, but was interrupted by Duan Lingshan's voice transmission. Senior Situ, please don't reveal my identity. For a time, Situ Lei also spoke directly, without naming Duan Lingtian. And neither Liu Yifan nor Lin Yu actually knew Duan Lingshan's real name and pseudonym, so he didn't feel anything when he heard Situ Lei call out the word Li Senior. I can't help it either. Duan Lingtian looked at Situ Lei, and said helplessly, if these two seniors didn't want to kill me, I wouldn't waste the spirit and blood of the seniors. This time, I will trouble the seniors. Duan Lingtian greeted Situ Lei here, while Tan Shouting, who was following him next to him, saw Situ Lei's pupils shrink sharply, and his eyes were full of incredulity. Stuart. It turned out to be Situ Lei. In the Pingxiong realm, even if it is an existence close to the semi-sage, standing in front of Tan Shouting, if Tan Shoting does not know it, he will not be so rude. However, Situ Lei, in the Tiansha territory where Tan Shoting is active all the year round, is a top figure, even Tan Shoting, who only met Situ Lei from a distance in the past. Chengtian's sword Situ Lei is one of the strongest Zeons in Tiansha realm. Master, there is actually the spirit and blood of Senior Situ Lei's Lingyun. Senior Situ Lei, you actually value him so much. Tan Shoting was shocked. You must know that, as far as he knew, this young master of his family came from Wanjie, not someone from a certain force who was born and raised in a place outside the realm. And he also heard his young master say that it was the first time to Tiansha realm, and before that, there was no one he knew. This also shows that the young master of his family knew this senior Situ Lei when he was in the Wang family in Langxiaocheng. At that time, he heard that Situ Lei was present at the Chengtian sword. Of course, although he accompanied Meng Yuzheng of the Meng family in Kanglan City, with his strength and identity, he was not qualified to take the initiative to seek a meeting with a big man like Cheng Tianjian. In Tiansha realm, Cheng Tianjian is a top-notch figure, too. At this time, Situ Lei's eyes also fell on Liu Yifan and Lin Yu. In the past, I also stayed in Pingxiong territory for a while. Even if I don't know or have seen the most powerful people in Pingxiong territory, basically have heard a lot. But I don't know, who are the two? Just now, Situ Lei also learned from Duan Lingtian that the place where he is now is the Pingxiong realm. He is no stranger to the Pingxiong realm. Although, with his former strength, in the Pingxiong realm, he can only rank in the third echelon. But, even so, among the top powerhouses in the Pingxiong realm, he is considered a powerhouse. But now, his swordsmanship has been refined again. Although he has not achieved a qualitative change, he has also improved a lot. In the third echelon of the Pingxiong realm, he doesn't think there are many people who can be his opponents. Who are you? And Liu Yifan also spoke at this time, and asked in a slightly hoarse tone. It was a completely different voice from when he spoke before, and it was obvious that he deliberately concealed his own voice. Because he could see that the person in front of him was obviously not easy to mess with. The opponent, now his eyes are full of fierce fighting intent. Below, Tiansha realm, Chengtian's sword Situ Lei, unlike Liu Yifan and Lin Yu, who hide their heads and hide their tails, in front of the two of them, Situ Lei told his origin and identity in an open and honest way. Hearing Situ Lei's self-introduction, Liu Yifan and Lin Yu glanced at it, and they were relieved to see each other on each other's faces. Cheng Tianjian Situ Lei, although he is a top figure in the Tiansha realm, is actually average in the realm of Pingxiong. Although he is still stronger than any of them, the two of them joining forces are truly worthy of each other. It turned out to be the Chengtian sword. When Liu Yifan spoke again, his tone was obviously a little more polite. As for the identities of the two of us, it is insignificant, because we are both newly promoted to the strongest. The voice fell, and before Situ Lei could speak, Liu Yifan asked curiously, I dare to ask Cheng Tianjian, who is the person who called you? Now, both Liu Yifan and Lin Yu feel that they have found the wrong person. The person they are eyeing this time is probably not the person they are looking for. Because, as far as they know, the person they are looking for has a semi-sacred powerhouse behind him. Even if there is no semisage, no matter how bad it is, there is an existence close to the semi-sacred. And Situ Lei, although stronger than any of them, still has a long way to go to be close to the existence of the semisage. Naturally, it is the younger generation that I value, otherwise I will give him my Lingyun essence and blood. Situ Lei's words were reminded by Duan Lingtian. If he were to say it himself, he would definitely say that Duan Lingtian is his little friend who is also a teacher and a friend, not a junior. He is from the Tiansha realm? Liu Yifan asked again, wanting to confirm further. Yes. Situ Lei nodded. This is what Duan Lingtian asked him to say. Misunderstandings are all misunderstandings. After Liu Yifan was confirmed, he kept saying misunderstanding. We recognized the wrong person. Little friend, if I offended you just now, please forgive me. If you had said earlier that you were Cheng Tianjian's junior, we wouldn't have misunderstood that you were the one we were looking for. What Liu Yifan said behind was exactly what he said to Duan Lingtian. However, before Duan Lingtian could speak, Situ Lei snorted coldly, my junior, I almost died in your hands. This is something you can take with you in one sentence. Today, if you don't give an explanation, I don't want to compete with you. In Situ Lei's eyes, the fighting spirit rose, and the vast divine power on his body, like a galaxy, also oscillated. The fierce and unparalleled swordsmanship caused the surrounding space to oscillate and collapse. Countless gravels flew, the wind swept the clouds, and the sky and the earth changed color, just like the end of the day. But after Liu Yifan and Lin Yu looked at each other again, they didn't speak. However, in the next moment, the strength of the two turbulently rose together, and then they were skillfully merged together. And then, just as Situ Lei reacted, his face changed greatly, and the moment he got up, the figures of the two disappeared with the rapidly folded space, like a teleportation. Not teleportation. However, Situ Lei could clearly feel that it was not teleportation, because it was impossible to teleport within a certain range of the space he had just poised to influence. That's the means by which their powers are combined and combined. There are laws of space and laws of time. Their strength is definitely not as simple as just entering the Xeon. There is definitely a second-order strength, not as good as an ordinary second-order. Said, it is the second-order Xeon. Entering the Xeon for the first time is the first-order Xeon. At this time, the strength is at the bottom of the Xeon. And further, it is the second-order Xeon. Situ Lei could see that the two people who escaped in a flash were both the existences of the second-order Xeon, and they were the strong ones in the second-order Xeon, especially the means of escape between the two, which made him unable to react at all. Even if the gods, when I swept it out immediately, I couldn't find any traces, so I couldn't confirm the whereabouts of the other party at all. It's a good move. Even if it is the fourth-level Xeon, the existence that is close to the semisacred, it is impossible to disappear in front of my eyes without a trace. The escape method of these two people is not weaker than that of ordinary semisacred. Situ Lei was secretly shocked. After confirming that the two had left without a trace, Situ Lei looked at Duan Lingtian and asked in surprise, Li Feng Xiaoyu, how did you get into such two existences? Hearing this, Duan Lingtian suddenly smiled wryly. Senior, I don't know about this matter. I was on my way here, and they appeared directly and intercepted me. They obviously recognized the wrong person. However, they planned to make the mistake and obliterate me. At this time, I can only ask you for help. Senior's life-saving grace today, I will never forget it. In front of Situ Lei, Duan Lingtian didn't tell the truth. After all, wealth and silk move people's hearts. Who knows if Situ Lei can still keep calm after knowing that he has those good things in his hands, and he is not tempted by the things in his hands. From what you said, the two of them are a little overbearing. Situ Lei frowned, but he didn't doubt Duan Lingtian's words. After all, even the other two had said that they were mistaken. Moreover, he did not think that Duan Lingtian would take the initiative to provoke such two existences. That is the existence of the second-order Xeon. Li Feng Xiaoyu, where are you going? I'll give you a ride. Now that the deity is here, Situ Lei didn't plan to return to Qiansha realm immediately. Thinking that he still had some doubts in the swordsmanship during this time, he couldn't help asking. Will it be too troublesome, senior? Although Duan Lingtian wished that Situ Lei would give him a ride in person, he was still polite. No trouble. Situ Lei shook his head, and then his old face turned slightly red. I have encountered some minor obstacles in Kendo recently. This time I will see you again, Xiaoyu Lifeng, and I would like to hear Xiaoyu Lifeng's opinion. After all, the rest of the way, we have to take the initiative to ask, so Situ Lei also took the initiative to say it at this time. When Duan Lingtian heard the words, he secretly smiled and smiled. I would like to serve the seniors. This junior is planning to go to the Thunder Holy Land, one of the 3 holy places. The senior will send me to the Thunder Holy Land and send me to the nearest holy city. At the same time, Tan Xiuteng, who was beside Duan Lingtian, suddenly lit up, unable to hide his surprise. With characters like Cheng Tianji and Situ Lei escorting him all the way, you can sit back and relax. End of this chapter. Chapter 4487. The strongest person in the mountain pavilion Liu Yifan, and the strongest person in the Lin clan Lin Yu, after jointly performing the time-space escape method, completely ignored the interference of the Chengtian sword situ lei on the surrounding space and escaped thousands of miles away. During this process, they could also be sure that situ lei would never be able to lock in which direction they went. That situ lei, who is just entering the third tier, really wants to fight. You and I may not be afraid of him. But, after all, today's matter, after all, is not on the table, and it is not appropriate to reveal his identity, otherwise there will be people who bully the younger generation. Suspect. Liu Yifan said angrily. However, Lin Yu nodded non-committally. He knew that Liu Yifan was trying to save face and suffer, and was looking for a step for himself to make himself feel more comfortable. How could he not know the real reason for not revealing his identity? It is nothing more than worrying that the other party will spread this matter out, causing the genius high-ranking ******, who is suspected to have come out of the semisacred power to stare at the two of them. After all, neither of them wanted the other to know their identities. Otherwise, even if you really get the thing, the other party will know their identities when you look back, not to mention the fifth-order powerhouses such as the Bansheng, or the fourth-order powerhouses close to the half-sacred, and only one person is needed. Enough to easily destroy the forces behind them, if the two of them happen not to be together, and there is no way to escape by means of time and space. I am afraid that they will also be buried with the forces behind them. You and I join hands to cast the time and space escape method, and the semisacred powerhouse will not be able to leave us. Lin Yu said lightly, between words. He was very confident about their joint means of escape. However, it's a pity. Previously, you spent so much time looking back in time, but you were looking back at an irrelevant person. It was a waste of time, energy, and divine power. Liu Yifan said with a sigh. That can't be helped. Lin Yu shook his head and was a little helpless. Although there were some sources, it was not easy to find the genius and high-ranking ****** who was carrying a lot of treasures. As I said, we just need to focus on the active superpowers around. When that time comes, when we see which superpowers take action on that little guy, we will have another Oriole behind. Liu Yifan's eyes shone brightly and said, with the time-space escape method that you and I have jointly used, as long as you don't reveal your identity, you won't be a half-sacred person in the territory of Pingxiong, so you don't need to have any concerns at all. Time and space escape is also Liu Yifan and Lin Yu's greatest resource. That's what I said. But the most important thing at the moment is to find out the whereabouts of that genius and high-ranking god. Lin Yu said. An artifact spaceship rose from the vast land and headed towards the Thunder Holy Land all the way. The speed of this divine artifact spaceship is not comparable to any divine artifact spaceship that Duan Lingtian had previously sat on, because this divine artifact spaceship belonged to Chengtian sword situ lei. This artifact spaceship, usually in his spare time, uses the supernatural power to conceive, although it cannot be regarded as a complete super-strong artifact, but it can also be said to be half a super-strong artifact. Moreover, it was Stuart Leahy who let the Tree of Life in the small world in his body control the current artifact spaceship, and because of this, he didn't need to spend any effort to control the spaceship. In addition, this kind of artifact spacecraft, generally no one dares to intercept it. Ordinary people do not have that speed to intercept. The speed of this artifact spaceship is so fast now that if it is not the superior ***** who is good at the law, even if the strength is close to the invincible superior god, it will be difficult to catch up. As it rushes through the void, it announces to its surroundings, this artifact spaceship is a means of transportation for the strongest. It is precisely because of this that although the large area bordering Pingxingjing and Lishenging has been raided by some superpowers from time to time, they have not been eyeing the artifact spaceship that Duan Lingtian is currently sitting on. And these people actually came to Duan Lingtian, intending to seize the Beiminghan Fish King and the Bliss Flower King in his hands. It seems that something has happened in this area recently. There are so many supreme powers active. At first, Situ Lei didn't feel anything, but later, when he heard the reminder of the Tree of Life in the small world inside his body, he found something abnormal again. When things go wrong, there must be demons. If there is an abnormality, Situ Lei will naturally not ignore it easily. What if it is an opportunity that is also useful to him to make the superpower take such a long time? So, in order to know the reason, Situ Lei went out to inquire. In the end, he also vaguely learned the ins and outs of the matter. With Situ Lei's third-order strength, those with weaker strengths are still relatively face-saving, and told him the matter. It is suspected that there is a semi-sacred powerhouse as a young powerhouse backing the mountain, knocking on the bamboo poles of the Tailing Zhong clan and the Bingdi Lung clan, and getting 3 Beiminghan Fish Kings and 9 Bliss Flower Kings? Even Situ Lei was shocked by the other party's harvest. If it wasn't for him being a loose cultivator, and there are no juniors and descendants, he has no worries, otherwise, he will be tempted by these things. These temptations are of no direct use to the strongest themselves. If it is useful, it is nothing more than using it to exchange some rare treasures that are directly useful to oneself with other supreme powers. Someone is being targeted by those superpowers. Situ Lei, who came back from inquiring about the news, didn't hide anything from Duan Lingtian, and told Duan Lingtian what he had inquired: 3 North Netherfrost Fish Kings, 9 Bliss Flower Kings. It's no wonder they spend so much time. However, those things are not so easy to capture. After speaking, Situ Lei shook his head. Duan Lingtian heard the words, and his eyes flashed. So, the 2 people who stopped me last time should also be the most powerful people who have their eyes on that person. The reason why you don't dare to reveal your identity is because you are worried about your identity being exposed, being targeted by the other party, or even revenge. After all, it is very likely that there is a semi-sacred powerhouse behind the opponent. Hearing Duan Lingtian's words, Situ Lei nodded. If you don't tell me, I will forget about it. It should be right. They should regard you as that genius. Situ Lei laughed. Situ Lei, from the beginning to the end, did not think about Duan Lingtian to that genius powerhouse, just because according to the information he inquired, that genius powerhouse has the strength to be infinitely close to the invincible superior god, not weaker than the Tianmen Linghu family. Linghu Yundi. Tianmen Linghu family, Linghu Yundi, is the first person under the generally recognized invincible superior ***** in the territory of Pingxiong. What is this concept? In the territory of Pingxiong, she is the strongest existence if the Xeon does not exist, and the invincible superior **** does not exist. Senior is also interested in those things. If Senior is interested, there is no need to send me, I can just continue on my way. Duan Lingtian tentatively asked Situ Lei. But Situ Lei shook his head when he heard the words, those things don't have any direct effect on me as a lonely person, and I can only exchange other things with others when I get them, and it's easy to be targeted by others, and the risk is huge. Risk-benefit trade-off, I don't want to be in this muddy water. Situ Lei expressed his attitude. When Duan Lingtian heard the words, although he didn't say anything on the surface, he was still slightly relieved. In particular, Tan Shoting on the side was shocked into a cold sweat. On the next road, Situ Lei continued to discuss kendo with Duan Lingtian, and Duan Lingtian did not hide his secrets, and did his best to share some of his insights. It wasn't until Situ Lei's artifact spaceship entered the Thunder Holy Land and arrived at the nearest Thunder Holy Land holy city called Tourmaline Holy City that the discussion stopped. Li Feng Xiaoyu. At the time of parting, Situ Lei sighed, Lingyun essence and blood, I don't have it in my hands for the time being. I can give you a few jade slips, but I'm afraid I can only deter some newcomers. In the end, Duan Lingtian couldn't evade, and took 3 deity projection jade slips from Situ Lei, and he could call out Situ Lei's deity projection each time. However, the strength of the deity's projection is far inferior to the real deity. At most, it is only close to the strength of the invincible upper deity, and there is no follow-up power. The stronger upper deity can consume it and wipe it out. The biggest use of the deity projection is deterrence. However, if you encounter a superpower who deliberately concealed his identity like last time, such a deity projection jade slip is useless, because the other party is not afraid at all. Li Feng Xiaoyu, after you enter the Tourmaline Holy City. Before leaving, Situ Lei also briefly reminded Duan Lingtian of some things, so that Duan Lingtian would not take too many detours after entering the Thunder Holy Land. As for the details, he didn't say much, because many things, personal contact is far more useful than his explanation. After about a quarter of an hour, Situ Lei left. Senior Situ Lei is a straightforward person. After Situ Lei left, Duan Lingtian couldn't help sighing with emotion. Hearing this, Tan Xiuting nodded in agreement. Senior Situ Lei, among the strongest Zeons in the Tianxia realm, has the best reputation. I have never heard anyone speak ill of him. Those who mention him, almost all praise him. You said. If he knew that I was the one the strongest were looking for, would he shoot at me? Duan Lingtian's eyes flashed, and he asked Tan Xiuting. Hearing this, Tan Xiuting was stunned at first, then smiled bitterly. It stands to reason that it shouldn't be. However, even if it is possible, it is best not to try it. Once you gamble wrong, you will be like a nest egg. Tan Xiuting said. Humanity is the hardest thing to figure out. Situ Lei's reputation is really good, but who knows if it's just an appearance? It's just because Situ Lei has wiped out those who know his bad side, so no one knows his bad at all? Yeah. That's why I didn't tell him the truth. This kind of gamble is too risky. Duan Lingtian nodded, then turned to look at the holy city of Thunder Holy Land in front of him. Let's stay in this holy city of Tourmaline for the next period of time. End of this chapter. Chapter 4488. Chapter 4488. The Sage Power Baibo Tianfu Tourmaline Holy City. It is one of the many holy cities in Leisheng, controlled by a sage force named Baibo Tianfu, and under the Baibo Tianfu, there are 5 holy cities. Tourmaline Holy City is only one of the 5 holy cities under the command of Baibo Tianfu. In the 5 holy cities, there are also many forces stationed in it, which is also the default of Baibo Tianfu. Some of these forces surrender to Baibo Tianfu, and some forces have no relationship with Baibo Tianfu, only cooperative relations. The latter forces are basically semi-holy forces. Only the semi-holy forces can let Baibo Tianfu put down the air and cooperate with it. After all, although there are saints in Baibo Tianfu, they are only one saint. Under the saints, there are only a few semisages. Master, this Tourmaline Holy City. After finding an inn in the Tourmaline Holy City, in the courtyard of the guest room, Tan Xiuting, who had also been to the Thunder Holy Land in the past, also began to tell Duan Lingtian everything he knew about the Tourmaline Holy City. For example, in the Tourmaline Holy City, there are 3 major semi-holy forces. For example, the inn where they live now is the inn under the command of the Duan clan among the 3 major semi-holy forces. Tan Xiuting also understands this because he has stayed here in the past. If you don't already know that you are from the 10,000 realms, you are not a native of the outside world. Otherwise, I am afraid that I have to doubt whether you are from the Duan clan in this Tourmaline Holy City. Tan Xiuting said. Duan Lingtian's identity can be concealed after he arrives outside the world, so not many people know his true identity. Tan Xiuting, who once made a blood oath in the sky, is one of the few people who know his true identity. In fact, Duan Lingtian couldn't help being a little surprised when he learned that the inn where he was now, and that the semi-sacred forces behind him were actually the Duan clan. This is too coincidental, right? In the past, it was not that he had never encountered a family or clan with the surname Duan, but they were basically of moderate strength, and the Duan clan in this Tourmaline Holy City was a powerful semi-holy power. This is definitely the most powerful Duan clan force that Duan Lingtian has come into contact with so far. As for the rest, I don't know very well. After all, my strength, placed in this Tourmaline Holy City, is only a trivial figure, and the information that can be known is also the information that anyone can inquire about. Tan Xiuting said everything he knew in one breath. And Duan Lingtian nodded. But now he has another consideration in his heart. On the top of this Tourmaline Holy City is a huge sage power Baibo Tianfu, and within that Baibo Tianfu, there are strong saints sitting in town. The so-called sage is actually a strong person in the realm of the world. It is said that there are only a few dozen top people in the world, and even beyond the world. If the sage makes a move and wants to resolve the imprisoned soul of the soulbound clan on Kier's body, there should be great hope. The strength of the sage is much stronger than that of the average superpower. If it was a semi-holy, Duan Lingtian would not dare to say it. However, the saint, although it is said to be the strongest, is said to have undergone a preliminary qualitative change in power, and it can be said to be in existence above the strongest. For such an existence, it is not an exaggeration to say that the realm is beyond the strongest. In this way, Yun Qingyang, who is integrated with the supreme powerhouse Soul Clan, imprisoned the soul of Kir. The saint powerhouse may not be able to directly erase it. After all, the confinement of the souls of the people of the God Emperor's Soul Clan, God Venerable, can easily erase them. The confinement of the souls of the people of the divine respected Soul Clan can be easily wiped out by the strongest. Even the weakest can do it. That is the gap between the cultivation base and the realm, and it is the leap of qualitative change. If I can let the sages of Baibo Tianfu take action, Kir will be saved. Thinking of this, Duan Lingshan's heart burst into flames. But soon, he couldn't help but feel helpless and lost in his heart. It's easier said than done if you want to let the saints and strong men take action. If he is an invincible high-ranking god, running for the sage strongman, to get some benefits of returning to the secret realm of the ruins, the other party may be willing to take a shot for him. But he is not an invincible upper god. Although the current strength is very close to the invincible upper god Venerable, it is either or not. Even the weakest invincible upper god Venerable can easily defeat the current Duan Lingtian. If you want to seek a breakthrough in the power of law, it is difficult to climb to the sky. Kendo is not easy. Duan Lingtian is very clear in his heart that his current strength has reached a bottleneck, and he still has a long way to go if he wants to go further and become an invincible high-ranking god. And his wife Kir might not be able to last that long. And, why, I haven't felt any signs of becoming a superpower until now. Ordinary people, who understand the four ways of heaven and earth to a certain extent, are not even as good as me now, and can't sense the superpower realm. Call. At this time, as long as you respond, you can directly become Xeon. If you refuse to respond, it is equivalent to giving up the road to becoming Xeon. In the future, only after you have achieved the invincible High God Venerable, will you have the opportunity to attack Xeon again. Territory. This is also the rule of heaven and earth. In the Xeon realm, people who meet the requirements are only called once. If you cherish this opportunity, I will let you step into. If it is not rare, it will give an incomparable test, achieve the invincible superior god, and then seek the path of supreme power from the invincible superior god. Or, join one of the semi-sacred forces in the Tourmaline Holy City first. Find a way to get the semi-sacred to try. But half-sage. It's very likely that it can't be done. Thinking of this, Duan Lingtian couldn't help but have some headaches. He wanted to do it, but he was worried that he had put in the effort and wasted time. In the end, the half-sage was powerless. It's nothing to waste his time and efforts. I'm afraid that Kir's time is wasted. It doesn't matter. Now I have no other choice. Even if there is little hope, I still have to try. Otherwise, it's a waste of Kir's time to sit and wait. Thinking of this, Duan Lingshan's eyes gradually became firmer. The Tourmaline Holy City, the Duan clan. It is also a destiny to be able to come here. I will first find a way to join it, and then seek the opportunity of the Duan family's semi-holy summons. As long as there is a chance, I will ask the half-sage to go to the anti-god realm and let him try it to see if he can release the imprisoned soul on Kir. Thinking of this, Duan Lingtian looked at Tan Shoting and said in a deep voice, I plan to join the Duan clan and become a worshipper. What do you think is the right way for me to wait for the opportunity to join? Tan Shoting, although his strength is not as good as him, he has lived longer than him after all. He has spent a long time in the outside world, and many things can provide him with advice and inspiration. End of this chapter. Chapter 4489. Hearing Duan Lingshan's words, Tan Shoting was stunned at first, surprised by his young master's thought, but soon recovered, shook his head and smiled. Master, this is a trivial matter. Although the Duan clan is a semi-sacred force, the strongest among them may not be as powerful as you. If you are willing to join the Duan clan, it is a great deal for the Duan clan. Good thing. And with your strength, it is absolutely impossible for you to be the opponent of the Duan clan or a lurker sent by other strengths to plant in the Duan clan. Even if it is a semi-sacred force, it is impossible to let a person of strength like you be willing to enter the hostile forces to lurk. So, as long as you show your strength, Master, the Duan clan will definitely welcome you to join, Master. Tan Shoteng said very confidently. Although his strength is average, he is very clear about these principles. The young master of his family, although not yet the invincible high-ranking god, is definitely a group of people who are the closest to the invincible high-ranking **** in a place outside the world, and even in all realm. Previously, the young master of his family took action against the existences of those who were close to the invincible superior gods. Although he was in the magical space, he could see it clearly. The strength of his young master is probably not weaker than Linghu Yundi, who is recognized as the first person under the invincible superior **** in Pingxiong territory. There are not many such characters, even in the Holy Realm outside the world like Thunder Holy Land. Although they are not unique, they will definitely not be too many. At least, among the semi-sacred forces in the Thunder Holy Land, there are absolutely a handful of such existences. Even if there are, most of them are in the power of saints. After Tan Ziyuteng's remarks, Duan Lingshan's confusion suddenly became clear. On second thought, this is indeed the truth. He just broke through not long ago, and he has only experienced one battle after breaking through, but he has not yet deeply realized that he is now strength. What does it mean? With my current strength, even if my identity is exposed, even if I know that I have a heavy treasure in my hand, and relying on the semi-sacred power, I may not have the power to protect myself. And my biggest trump card is not the strength I have now. Long live less than. This is my greatest advantage. Now, after being reminded by Tan Ziyuteng's words, Duan Lingtian suddenly realized the value of joining a semi-holy force. Tomorrow, I will go to the residence of the Duan family and join it. Duan Lingtian made a decision in a deep voice. Master. Tan Shoteng shook his head and smiled. Actually, it doesn't need to be that troublesome. Although the residence of the Duan clan is not in the Tourmaline Holy City, it is in the Tourmaline Holy City, but there is a stronghold for recruiting talents. You just need to go there. With your strength, young master, if you intend to join the Duan clan, I am afraid that the Duan clan will send more than one elder-level person to welcome you over there. Tan Ziyuteng's words brightened Duan Lingshan's eyes. If that's the case, then I will go to the stronghold of the Duan family in the Tourmaline Holy City tomorrow. Thinking of tomorrow, you will be able to join the Duan clan, become the worship of the Duan clan, and even hope to ask the semisage of the Duan clan to take action to save Kia. Duan Lingtian couldn't help but feel excited. Although, in the past, Chengtian's sword Situ Lei told him, I am afraid that only the existence of Jiezuanjing, that is, the existence of saints and above, can expel the imprisoned souls of the most powerful soul clan for his wife Kia. However, Duan Lingtian still had a glimmer of hope in his heart. Perhaps a semi-holy, close to a saint, can do the same? After all, the strength of the Soul Clan people who are the same as Yun Qingyang has definitely not recovered to its heyday. With the soul imprisonment in his weak state at that time, it may not be as good as the soul imprisonment under the control of the normal supreme power Soul Clan people. In Duan Lingshan's heart, there was too much luck. What if? What if it was really useful? If he didn't try it, Duan Lingtian would not be reconciled. The Duan clan, as one of the three semi-sacred forces in the Tourmaline Holy City, is not located in the Tourmaline Holy City, but it is not far away. It is common for a lower-ranking **** to travel between the Tourmaline Holy City and the Duan clan. It takes a quarter of an hour at most. Time. If it is the middle **** race and the upper gods, it will be faster. If it is the strongest, it only takes a few breaths to span this short distance. Today's Duan clan has a special guest. The reason why this guest is special is because he is not an ordinary guest that the Duan clan usually receives. He comes from the power of saints, Baibo Tianfu. Duanbing, welcome the envoy. Although the messenger who came from Baibo Tianfu this time was not a superpower, the Duan family did not dare to show any slights. Greeted with hands and gave a very high courtesy. Duan Bing, the patriarch of the Duan clan, is a middle-aged man who looks gentle, but his eyes are firm and dignified. After a long look, he can perceive a bit of sternness and majesty. Patriarch Duan. The visitor from Baibo Tianfu was an elderly man. Seeing the Duan clan's patriarch treated him so politely, he also smiled. I came this time under the order from above. Our Baibo Tianfu has recently discovered a new return market. According to some clues, there are several treasures in it, which are the treasures that our Baibo Tianfu has been collecting for many years. So, this time, our Baibo Tianfu intends to unite most of you holy forces, jointly explore the return to the ruins. As the old man's voice fell, Duan Bing's eyes couldn't help but light up. He guessed right away that the entrance to the ruins should meet some specific conditions. Otherwise, it would be impossible for them to get a share of the semi-holy forces from Baibo Tianfu. This kind of thing has never happened before. Normally, there are no restrictions on returning to the market, and Baibo Tianfu is basically not open to the outside world. They are all responsible for exploring and collecting all kinds of treasure opportunities inside. As in the past, if your people find what we need in Baibo Tianfu, our Baibo Tianfu will exchange other treasures, so you won't suffer any losses. As for other things, if your people find them, they will belong to you. The old man continued. Envoy. Duan Bing asked bluntly, I don't know, what conditions must be met for those who enter the market this time? In the past, in the return market shared by Baibo Tianfu, there were those who needed to meet the conditions for cultivation, those that could not surpass the realm of cultivation, and those that needed to meet the 4 conditions of heaven and earth, as well as those who met the age group. Enter. There are various conditions, and he can't guess what conditions need to be met this time. For those who are not the strongest, master Kendo and reach the 4th level of Kendo. And the old man, under the question of Duan Bing, the patriarch of the Duan clan, did not sell too much, and responded bluntly to his words. As the old man's voice fell, Duan Bing took a deep breath. Not the strongest? 4th rank of Kendo? Isn't the way of other weapons okay? Duan Bing asked one more question. No. The old man shook his head, it must be the way of Kendo. The way of other weapons will not work. This time, what we at Baibo Tianfu means is that you can also search for people who meet these conditions and ask them to help you. On our side of Baibo Tianfu, this time, we also have an extra gift for the forces that can help us find the most treasures we need, which will be presented by the saint of our Baibo Tianfu in person. Holy! While Duan Bing trembled in his heart, he couldn't help but take a deep breath. He naturally knew that the holy venerable in the mouth in front of him was the sage of Baibo Tianfu, one of the several overlords of the Thunder Holy Land. The land of return to the ruins will be opened in 10 years. You have the time to collect such characters. Before the land of return to the ruins is opened, we, Baibo Tianfu, will send someone to pick up the people you arranged to go to the entrance of the land of return to the ruins and enter the land of return to the ruin. End of this chapter. Chapter 4490. It was not until the envoy of Baibo Tianfu left that Duan Bing, the patriarch of the Duan clan in the Tourmaline Holy City, gradually recovered. Non-powerful, master the 4th rank of Kendo? Duan Bing only frowned. High-ranking gods, generally mastering some kind of heaven and earth to the 4th order level, they can almost feel the call of the realm of the strongest, and as long as they respond to the call, they can directly become the strongest. As for the general high-ranking gods, at this stage, there is a layer of window paper away from the most powerful person. Few people will choose not to pierce the window paper to become the strong one. The vast majority of people will never give up the opportunity to become the strongest. Because of this, it is difficult to find a high-ranking **** who has mastered the 4th rank of the world, let alone the 4th rank of Kendo. Generally, the upper gods who have mastered the 4th order of the 4 worlds and the 4 worlds have achieved greatness by virtue of the 4 worlds. The rest either did not feel the call of the supreme realm or decided to attack the invincible upper god, and generally the latter is far less than the former, because the invincible upper **** is too ethereal, looking at the world and beyond the world. The total number is not even as much as 10% of the total number of the strongest. In our Duan clan, there are 2 people who have mastered the 4th order heaven and earth, and they are not the strongest. However, the 4 worlds they master are not swordsmanship, although it's all the way of weapons, but it doesn't meet the conditions for entering that place of return to the ruins. The Duan clan's contemporary, non-powerful, 2 people who have comprehended the 4 ways of heaven and earth to the 4th rank, mastered the spear way and knife way, Both of them are in the Duan clan, close to the invincible upper gods, the presence. And the strongest among them. They are the mainstay of the Duan family. It seems that we can only seek foreign aid outside for the next 10 years. Duan Bing secretly said. At noon the next day, Duan Lingtian left the inn with Tan Shouting, ate at a nearby restaurant, and after listening to the conversations of some drinkers, he found out where the Duan family's recruitment stronghold in the Tourmaline Holy City is located. The Duan clan, as one of the 3 semisacred forces in the Tourmaline Holy City, even if it is just a stronghold for recruiting talents, it occupies a very large area, just like a family residence. In fact, the non-semi-saint family forces in the Tourmaline Holy City, the family resident in the Tourmaline Holy City, are at most as large as this. Your Excellency, are you looking for someone? At the gate, one of the guards at the gate looked at Duan Lingtian, who was headed by him, and asked politely. After all, they are members of a big family such as the Duan family. I know that many people seem to be ordinary, but in fact have a strong background and cannot be provoked, so they are a little polite when they meet. In doing so, you can ensure that you will not inadvertently offend anyone. No. Duan Lingtian shook his head, looked at the person in front of him, and said with a slight smile, I heard that the Duan family's stronghold in the Tourmaline Holy City is to recruit talents. I came here to join the Duan family. Hearing Duan Lingtian's intention to come, the people of the Duan clan at the gate suddenly became a lot more polite. So you are here for this. Your Excellency, please come in, and I will take you to the assessment site set up by our Duan clan for worship. As long as you can pass the assessment, you can join our Duan clan. Although the person in front of him looked young, he did not dare to underestimate it. Who knows if this young skin is an old antique that has lived for tens of thousands of years. Under the leadership of the other party, Duan Lingtian took Tan Shouting into this stronghold of the Duan family in the Tourmaline Holy City. After entering the door, you can see the layout inside. It is like a small family residence, with many rockeries and lush greenery. The corridors along the way are also antique, full of low-key luxury. Seemingly seeing Duan Lingtian's surprise, the members of the Duan clan who led the way in front of them smiled slightly and said, This stronghold of our Duan clan used to be the clan residence of a big family. After that clan was wiped out, this place was idle for a while, and was finally asked by our patriarch to serve as a stronghold. The people of the Duan clan put it lightly, but Duan Lingtian knew that such a good place must have many people's eyes, and the Duan clan's ability to win it is enough to show its strong strength and deterrence. Your Mightiness. Suddenly, the people of the Duan clan slowed down a bit. The person in charge of this stronghold of our Duan clan is an elder of the law enforcement hall of our Duan clan, and he has a bad temper. You met him, but don't be polite, he is the most powerful person who doesn't know how high the sky is. He is a Zeon. Under normal circumstances, he would not take the initiative to remind people who want to join the Duan clan. The reason why he took the initiative to remind him was that he felt that the other party seemed easygoing and unassuming, and not to mention the specific strength, just this easygoing, it was worth reminding him a thing or two. Thank you for reminding. Duan Lingtian repeatedly thanked him. My name is Duan Xiao, what is your name? Asked the guide. Duan Lingtian. And Duan Lingtian didn't hide his identity this time. With his current strength, if he joins the Duan clan, even if all the treasures in his hands are exposed, there will be very few people who dare to attack him. Unless the Duan clan attacked him. However, this is unlikely. After all, even if the Duan clan is tough, he has a self-destruction ring. As long as he is not willing, he would rather die. No one can get those treasures in his hands. Moreover, the Duan clan is a semi-sacred force after all, and it is definitely impossible to worship the difficult clan because of that little treasure, and it is also a worshipping close to the invincible superior god. Through Tan Ziyuteng's mouth, Duan Lingtian has realized that if he joins the Duan clan, he will be greatly respected and valued. Now, Duan Lingtian not only did not hide his real name, but even his face was restored to its original state, no longer covering up in the slightest, and completely showing his true face. Hiding in the past was entirely because of lack of strength. And now, there is no need to do that. Your surname is also Duan? Duan Xiao was stunned for a moment, then laughed. It seems that your excellency has a fate with our Duan clan. Or is it because your surname is Duan that you chose our Duan clan? There's a reason for that. Duan Lingtian nodded. In fact, this did account for a large part of the reason. Under the leadership of Duan Xiao, Duan Lingtian and Tan Shouting came to the backyard, and after Duan Xiao said hello, Duan Lingtian and Tan Shouting followed another person and walked into a vast mansion in the backyard. Brother Lingtian, I hope to see you in the clan in the future. Before parting, Duan Xiao said to Duan Lingtian with a smile. Although he guards the gate at the Duan family's stronghold in the Tourmaline Holy City, his own strength is not bad. He is also a high-ranking god. In the Duan family, the weaker worshippers are not much stronger than him. Therefore, in the face of a character who may become a new worship, he does not feel that there is any identity gap between himself and the other party. Must. Duan Lingtian also responded through voice transmission, and he also had a good impression of this enthusiastic disciple of the Duan clan. The person who took over and led the way in the back seemed a lot indifferent, without any unnecessary nonsense, and took Duan Lingtian and Tan Shouting directly into the mansion in front of him. Inside the Fuzhong mansion, in the spacious courtyard, an old man who was over a decade old was sitting at a stone table drinking tea. Elder, someone brought it. The person leading the way said respectfully to the old man. As for the old man, as early as the moment Duan Lingtian stepped into the stronghold, he actually passed Duan Xiao's communication and knew that such a person was going to participate in the Duan clan's recruitment assessment. At this point, it didn't seem surprising. The old man stood up, his body that seemed a little thin, but at this moment, it gave people a sense of strength, as if there were thousands of majestic momentum swept out of him. That is, in this moment, Duan Lingtian can confirm that the other party is a supreme power. The strong momentum swept in. Tan Ziyuteng's complexion changed greatly, his body trembled slightly, and the corners of his mouth bleed. On the other hand, Duan Lingtian stood there as if nothing had happened, as if he had not been affected in any way. Even, as a fierce aura rose from his body, Tan Ziyuteng's complexion also recovered a lot. Obviously the pressure was caused by Duan Lingtian resolved. What a powerful swordsmanship! The old man, at this time, also put away his aura, staring at Duan Lingtian with shining eyes. His heart trembled. What's the situation? Yesterday, I just received a message from the Patriarch, asking him to help collect non-Zeons who have mastered the 4th rank of Kendo. Today, I took the initiative to send one to my door. His swordsmanship is definitely above the 4th rank. As for the specific order, we will have to let him try it before we know. End of this chapter. Chapter 4491. Don't resist, follow me into my artifact space. In the Tourmaline Holy City, within the Duan clan's recruitment stronghold, the person in charge of the stronghold is also the elder of the Duan clan's law enforcement hall. Before he spoke loudly, he also took out a space artifact. Then, he took Duan Lingtian into the artifact space. During this process, Duan Lingtian had no intention of resisting, nor did he intend to resist. Don't say it's just the artifact space, he can come out at any time. It is the small world inside the opponent's body, and he is not afraid to enter. After all, with the strength of the opponent's supreme power, if you really want to be detrimental to him, you don't need to be so troublesome at all, you can obliterate him face to face, outside. Seeing that his young master disappeared in front of the Duan clan elders, leaving a gourd-shaped artifact alone on the table not far away, Tan Shouting waited calmly. It is not difficult for him to guess the next result. The Duan clan will be very happy to accept his young master as the offering of the Duan clan. After all, although the Duan clan has the existence of an invincible superior god, but the Duan clan may not have the strength like his young master. Within the artifact space, the elders of the Duan clan did not say a word, and shot directly at Duan Lingtian. A majestic force swept out and rushed towards Duan Lingtian, like 1,000 troops. You do your best to resist my offensive and let me see your true strength. Just from the test outside, he had already seen that the young man in purple clothed in front of him had the strength close to the invincible upper god, but at what level, he was not sure. After all, the existences that are close to the invincible upper gods are also divided into 3, 6, and 9. As for Duan Lingtian, when he heard the other party's words, he didn't hold back any longer. As soon as he made a move, it was full force. The space law of the small perfection realm was displayed, and the divine power was turbulent. With the swordsmanship of the full force shot, it broke the opponent's offensive like a destructive force. Even completely suppressed the opponent's offensive. Of course, the reason why this step can be achieved is entirely because the other party is far from doing his best. As early as when the opponent shot, Duan Lingtian saw that the opponent controlled the power of his shot to a level that was comparable to the existence of an invincible superior god. This level of strength is far inferior to him. This kind of existence that is close to the invincible upper god, in his hands, he can't even make 10 moves. If there is no special means of escape, he is sure to kill it. Call out. Duan Lingtian's power converged into a sword beam and swept out. His mighty power made the Duan clan elders look horrified, and the depths of their eyes were filled with disbelief. Obviously, he never imagined that the youth in purple clothes in front of him had such a powerful strength. This strength. I am afraid that it can be compared with the top figures under the Baibo Tianfu Shenqiang and the invincible superior god Venerable. He was shocked. In their Duan clan, there have been such powerful figures in history, but not many. Only a few people have appeared in the history of millions of years. In modern times, there has never been such a genius. And now, such a genius is standing in front of him, and he is conducting the assessment of their Duan clan recruiting talent. His swordsmanship has reached the 6th level. Moreover, it is definitely the 6th order peak. At the same time, in addition to being shocked by the strength of the opponent, the elders of this clan were also very horrified by Duan Lingtian's swordsmanship. The 6th stage of Kendo. It is all the worlds and the 4 realms of the 6th stage. Looking at the places beyond the realm, and even the 10,000 realms, as far as he knows, there are not more than 100 people. In the land outside the world, and even in the contemporary world, under the strongest, he has not heard that anyone has mastered the 4 realms of heaven and earth and has reached the 6th stage. The 6th stage of Kendo. Looking at the contemporary era, including the most powerful, there are probably no more than 5 people who have mastered it. At least, I haven't heard of any existence under the saint who mastered it. The 6th stage of Kendo, saint. Saints, without exception, all have the cultivation of the strongest, and have mastered a certain law to the realm of great perfection. If there are no other special means, at least one of the 4 ways of heaven and earth has been mastered to the 6th stage. And these thoughts of the elders of the Duan clan actually happened in a flash. When he noticed that Duan Lingtian's offensive had suppressed his own offensive, and when the pavement hit, the power in his body suddenly swept over his body without reservation, easily blocking Duan Lingtian's offensive. Although Duan Lingtian's offensive was strong, it fell on the elders of the Duan clan without causing any waves, as if it were completely insignificant. At the same time, the elders of the Duan clan also completely recovered. When he looked at Duan Lingtian again, his originally stiff and serious face revealed a smile that was uglier than crying. "Little brother, I am the 2nd elder of the Duan family law enforcement hall Duan Tianhong, but I don't know what you call it." It was also because there were no other members of the Duan clan at the scene. Otherwise, seeing this dignified appearance of Tianhong, he would definitely be shocked to drop his jaw. Because, Duan Tianhong, who is usually in front of the Duan clan's patriarch, rarely does this, let alone in front of other people. Among the Duan clan, I am afraid that only the semi-sage ancestor appeared. It is possible to make Duan Tianhong so enthusiastic. Duan Lingtian, I have seen Elder Tianhong. As for Duan Lingtian, he was not surprised by the sudden change in Duan Tianhong's attitude, because in his opinion, it was expected. His current strength, let alone the semi-sacred power, is the power of the saints, and he will also receive a lot of attention, and even attention. "Your surname is Duan too?" Immediately, the smile on Duan Tianhong's face became brighter. Of course, in Duan Lingtian's eyes, it was even more ugly. "Then you really have a fate with our Duan clan. With your strength, it is more than enough to join our Duan clan as an offering. If it becomes a big worship directly, no one will have a second opinion." Before Duan Lingtian came, he had also heard about the big offering of the Duan clan. It was the most powerful being in the offering, and it was an honor that could only be obtained. As for the strongest people entering the Duan clan, they do not become worshippers, but become protectors. Only outsiders under Xion who enter the Duan clan are enshrined. Go. I'll take you back to our Duan clan to see the patriarch. Duan Tianhong seemed a little impatient, as if he was afraid that Duan Lingtian would suddenly regret it and did not intend to join their Duan clan again. Then I will trouble Elder Tianhong. Duan Lingtian continued speaking. No trouble, just a small matter. Duan Tianhong waved his hand. Let's not mention your surname Duan, you are related to our Duan clan. If you say that your name contains the word, then it is also related to me, Duan Tianhong. Since we are so predestined, we don't need to do it again. Such a courtesy. If you don't dislike it, you can just call me brother in private. Although he is not sure of the specific age of the person in front of him, he can still faintly perceive that the other party is definitely not old. It should not exceed 30,000 years old. Moreover, the people who can reach this stage are basically geniuses, and there are very few underachievers who are over 30,000 years old. The person outside, since he is by your side, come with us to see the patriarch. After leaving the artifact space, Duan Tianhong, who didn't even look at Tan Shoting in the first place, also rarely nodded and smiled at Tan Shoting. Although it was only a short smile, it still made the person who brought Duan Lingtian and the two here look horrified. Who can tell him what's going on? Elder Duan Tianhong, who has always had a coffin face, turned out to be laughed. End of this chapter. Chapter 4492. Duan Lingtian took Tan Shoting, followed behind Duan Tianhong, and went to the Duan family's residence outside the Tourmaline Holy City. Along the way, Duan Tianhong enthusiastically introduced the Tourmaline Holy City to Duan Lingtian, as well as the various industries of the Duan family in the Tourmaline Holy City, and bluntly said that after Duan Lingtian became the enshrined of the Duan family, after the Duan family's industry consumption in the Tourmaline Holy City, there will be huge discounts just by showing the identity token. At the same time, he also speculated on the origin of Duan Lingtian, and after learning that Duan Lingtian came from Wanjie, he became more enthusiastic. 10,000 Worlds Monk. Such a character is like water without a source and rootless grass in the outside world. Under the same conditions, any force in the outside world is more inclined to the monks of the world. Wanjie cultivator, since he chose to leave Wanjie and went to a place outside the realm to find a place for power, and no longer act as a loose cultivator, it means that he has no worries in Wanjie. Such people are more stable. And through Duan Tianhong's mouth, Duan Lingtian also has a further understanding of the Duan clan, knowing that within the Duan clan, under the Semisage powerhouse, there are more than a dozen Xions. And among the dozen or so Xions, there are several who are close to the semisacred existence. It is the contemporary patriarch of the Duan clan, and that is also a very powerful superpower. Half-saint, that is, a half-step world-respected powerhouse. There is also a realm title, the 5th level superpower, also called the 5th stage superpower. It was also through Duan Tianhong's mouth that Duan Lingtian knew for the first time that among the supreme powers, there were also distinct power classes, and for a while he had a further in-depth understanding of the supreme powers. You must know that although he also knew that the strongest were strong and weak, he didn't know how to distinguish them. Of course, in front of Duan Tianhong, he did not explicitly say that he did not know these power classes of the strongest, but just quietly listened to Duan Tianhong's introduction. My strength, among the top powerhouses in the Duan clan, can only be considered average, and it's not long after I entered the second-tier powerhouse. Our patriarch is at the 3rd rank of Xion, just like the elders of our law enforcement hall. In the introduction, Duan Tianhong also brought Duan Lingtian to the residence of the Duan family outside the Tourmaline Holy City, which is like a paradise. Found here. The entire station of the Duan clan was surrounded by a maze. As for the reason, Duan Lingtian is not difficult to guess, it must be because he does not want to be easily disturbed by outsiders. Powerful existences, even if they are just passing by, can find the Duan clan's residence, while the average strength is difficult to find. A non-powerful person like Duan Lingtian is simply unable to see through the numerous confusions outside the Duan clan. Although the Duan family is not afraid of outsiders, it is naturally annoying after being disturbed for a long time. These were all learned by Duan Lingtian from Duan Tianhong. Elder Tianhong. Duan Tianhong brought Duan Lingtian and Tan Shoting into the residence of the Duan clan, and wherever they went, everyone from the Duan clan who saw Duan Tianhong respectfully saluted Duan Tianhong. There were also some young-looking members of the Duan clan, who looked at Duan Lingtian and Tan Shoting curiously, but did not speak clearly. However, in the dark, voice transmission is constantly communicating. The tone of communication, with bursts of surprise. Who are these two people? Judging from the appearance of Elder Tianhong, he seems to be very polite to them. Didn't Elder Tianhong be on duty recently at the Tourmaline Holy City recruiting stronghold? He's bringing people back now, presumably to join our Duan clan. If he can bring people over in person, it shows that the opponent's strength is not bad. I really can't see how powerful those two people are. However, if Elder Tianhong can personally lead the way, and he is so enthusiastic, at least it is close to the existence of the invincible superior god. In the past, it's not that there were no existences close to the invincible superior god venerable into our Duan clan. But, those people, I have never heard that Elder Tianhong brought them here in person when he was on duty. Could it be that they are the strongest? Or, one of them is the strongest? The discussions of the Duan clan were conducted by voice transmission, so Duan Lingtian naturally couldn't hear them. The current Duan Lingtian is taking Tan Shoting, led by Duan Tianhong, the second elder of the Duan clan law enforcement hall, to the reception hall of the Duan clan, where he meets the patriarch of the Duan clan. Duan Bing, the patriarch of the Duan clan, had been waiting in the hall for a long time. Patriarch. Duan Tianhong brought Duan Lingtian outside the gate of the reception hall, stopped and greeted respectfully inside. Come in. A loud voice came from the hall. Immediately following, Duan Tianhong smiled and greeted Duan Lingtian to enter together, followed by Tan Shoting. In the reception hall, Duan Lingtian saw Duan Bing, the patriarch of the Duan clan, and he had already learned about the name of Duan Bing on the way. After entering, he took Tan Shoting and bowed slightly to Duan Bing. I have seen Patriarch Duan. Duan Bing, on the other hand, looked at Duan Lingtian with a bright smile on his face. Are you Duan Lingtian? Elder Tianhong has already sent a message to me, saying that you are an existence close to the invincible superior god, and you have mastered the 6th stage of Kendo. I will naturally not question the vision of Elder Tianhong. However, this is the first time I heard that there are non-Zeons who have mastered the 6th stage of Kendo. But I don't know. Will Brother Ling Tian give me a lot of insight? Although he was inquiring, at the same time as the voice fell, Duan Bing, a heavy and majestic aura, had spread out, and swept the entire reception hall in a flash, and a force rushed out, protecting the entire reception hall. Duan Lingtian heard Duan Bing's words, and felt these changes again, and his heart was suddenly speechless. You are all like this. Can I still refuse? Of course, Duan Lingtian didn't plan to refuse at first, because he knew that only when you showed enough value would you be valued. And this time he entered the Duan clan with a purpose, and naturally he would not hide his strengths and bide his time. Without any hesitation, the next moment, Duan Lingtian's body will rise with divine power, cooperate with the power of space law in the realm of small perfection, and show the swordsmanship without reservation. Call out. An astonishing sword beam shot out from Duan Lingtian, as if it could penetrate the heavens and the earth, but before approaching the pillars above the reception hall, it was suppressed by the power of Zhong Bing, the patriarch of the Zhong clan. Although Zhong Bing did this very easily, his gaze towards Duan Lingtian was full of excitement. It's really the 6th stage of Kendo, and it seems that it is not as simple as entering the 6th stage. Or Wanjie monk. This time, our Duan clan has found a treasure. Duan Bing was extremely surprised. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.